You take it or I will rip you guys. I didn't come to CrimeCon to get hurt.
Thank you. Yeah, very nice to meet you. Thank you.
Oh my God, I love Curtis. I watch the show every Friday and Saturday night.
How are you? Good to see you.
Thank you for helping us solve our crime.
That was too much fun.
That was so. We will forever.
Really appreciate it.
Who knows the ducks?
There you go.
All right. Yeah, sure. My pleasure. Yeah.
What's the one thing you'll want to see at CrimeCon all the time? OPL.
The next session will start. Please take your seats.
Please welcome the host and creator of the Drop Dead Serious podcast, anchor of Banfield on News Nation, and frequent guest host of REELZ hit series On Patrol Live, Ashleigh Banfield.
Excited to be here, not only because I love you guys, but because I love the guys that I'm about to introduce. I'm going to give you a little secret. You may know this already if you watch the show, but I am a super fan of this show. I sat my kids down Fridays and Saturday nights for family night watching OPL. So when I get the opportunity to sit in as a guest host for Dan Abrams, it's magic because I'm fangirling for the whole show. So without further ado, let me introduce to you the executive producer and host of On Patrol Live, Dan Abrams, also the creator of Law and Crime. Also, Curtis Wilson, Deputy Sheriff of Richland County. And Tom Rizzo, Captain in the Howell Township Police Department in New Jersey. All right, you guys. I say it to you off camera all the time. I am a super fan of the show, and I venture a guess. How many are super fans in this audience? Okay, for those of you who may be new to the OPL, welcome. We are a big community, and we absolutely adore you on social media, on TV. We love having you at CrimeCon in this room. But for those of you who may not know us, couple of little things I want you to know. It's a 3-hour live program every Friday and Saturday night, over 50 live cameras all across the country, both in the field and in the studio. We ride along 8 to 10 departments from all walks of life across the country, East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, rural, urban, suburban. We basically reflect the broad range of American culture. And we are coming up on the 300th episode of On Patrol Live. Dan Abrams, without further ado, this is such a special show, and it just caught heat so fast. Why is it special to you?
Well, first of all, it may be most special because of all of you. The OP Nation is what makes this show.
Amen.
All right? So the community that we feel we are a part of with you has really made this experience so special. And I often say that for me, going to On Patrol Live isn't work. It's just fun. I just enjoy it. I learn from it. I never know what to expect. And I think what makes the show so special is that there is always a combination of really serious, of really exciting, sometimes really funny, and getting to talk about these issues while we're on the set. But I think that what makes the show from a viewer perspective, and again, I'm a viewer as we're watching this, is the uncertainty of what's going to happen and watching police work in action. And I feel like it was so long, for so many years, people had no real sense of what police work was like, right? The media portrayals of police work tended to be an officer-involved shooting. And now this show can show you the beginning, the middle, the end, what the officers are dealing with on a daily basis. And I think all of that is what makes the show so special.
So 24 years on the force, Rizzo, you don't even look 24. Just saying, I see him up close. And by the way, can I call you Rizzo instead of Captain Rizzo? 'Cause backstage, it's always Rizzo.
It's all good.
Okay, thank you, sir. 24 years on the force. Why is this show special to you in particular?
Well, for me, I believe that communication and vulnerability are superpowers. And that's the unique aspect of this show. Filming police officers in the field has been around for a long time, but the lack of comprehension as to why it is he or she may be doing what they're doing. So for me, that's part of it. The other part of it is to be able to bridge gaps. I love doing that. I, did that before I was on the show. Travel the country, wherever I could bridge a gap of understanding, comprehension that hopefully then leads to connection. So for me, I'm so passionate about being able to do that and advocate for what it is that we do. I have a tattooed on my body, perfectly imperfect. That's what people are. That's what police officers are. So if we could do a better job at having everybody come to an understanding of that, I just think that the world would be a better place.
And you have a voice that would melt steel. Curtis, Richland County Sheriff's Department, so committed. They have been on this show every episode since its inception. Why is Richland County so dedicated to partnering with us?
If I can piggyback on what these two talked about, it's like transparency. You're being able to see what goes on. You talk about, the crew from OPL riding with our deputies 6 hours in that weekend. They get to see everything, the beginning, the middle, the end, as Dan just mentioned as well. And it's about being able to show you what happens in the eyes of that law enforcement officer. This way you get the understanding and the comprehension of what goes on. And that's what our sheriff is about. And it's about that community engagement.
Yeah, is it ever? Okay, without further ado, I got to give you a little soupçon about the action that you see. And there's no better example than this fan favorite. If you've been watching the show, you know Chief Bradley Taylor of Hazen, Arkansas, right? I know, I'm a favorite fan too. I want to show you some of the really incredible action that came from Hazen. So let's roll it. Take a look.
As you all may recall, it was probably on our 100th episode, to be exact. We started riding with a little department, tiny little one, the state of Arkansas. This guy, the chief, Bradley Taylor, got to know him a little bit out there. And for those of you who are new to the show, here are a few of the memorable moments of riding with the chief.
We're coming up on the spike strips right now. Artie's lost the tire. Here we go.
You stole that woman money.
Peaches picking with Loco. Loco out back at Peaches. Peaches trying to cook her hamburgers.
I'll stay with you. Get the blue one.
Go ahead and TVI, sir. You can. TVI. Open the door. Come on out. Keep crawling, son. I got his hands. You cover. You cover. Yeah, because I heard something go wah, wah. And then you like trying to ditch me. No. That's what I heard, Terrell. Stop crying. You do this every time. You got a warrant. You're going to jail. Come on. Suck it up, Buttercup. Clayton. He got a gun in his pants. You got him? Yeah. You gonna blow your begonias off.
I hope he does get stuck. Why don't we just put Bosco in that trailer? See,
what's that gonna do?
More than what you're doing.
Curtis Wilson, what are begonias?
Begonias, that would be the family jewels there, Ashleigh. That would be where, when Michael Jackson grabbed and say, hee hee, that's where it's located. That's where it is.
Okay, Tom, you're a cop from New Jersey. By the way, I always say New Jersey. New Jersey. What do you have to say about Chief Taylor and the boys from Hazen?
Well, when I grow up, I want to go work in Hazen, Arkansas.
I know.
So, no, sincerely, they have my heart at hello. The way that they do it, they're literally the perfect blend of protecting and serving. They're not worried about optics, they're worried about impact. And they tell it like it is, because I think that's what the overwhelming majority of people enjoy on how to be treated. And there's a reciprocity effect there. So I think they've mastered that, and that's what's captured the likability of everybody, to include ours. We always have inside jokes whenever they're going, because we're like, just some of the things that they do. For me, being a police officer in New Jersey, I'm like, that sounds like Disney World. Yeah. So I get more excited, I think, than they do. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. I want to do that. I want to do it too.
I think part of it is also that he has this, this persona as if he's this small town hick, right? Comes up, this guy is as smart as a whip.
Yeah.
All right. And he can fool you, right? He'll come up and play the sort of like, whoa, you know, and now after watching him, you know, he knows exactly when to draw the line.
Yeah.
And he's very good at assessing when he's being lied to and when someone's telling the truth. But that sort of disarming nature that he has, I think leads people to be more honest with him. And I think that also ends up for safer policing.
Okay.
I think you're right. And I'll tell you, when I first saw him, I thought he was a cross between Sling Blade and Harrison Ford. But it's the magic that makes people like me watch. And I watch and watch and watch all 3 hours because you fall in love with these people. When they're this great, when they're these humans that you just love to see doing this work. And I'm going to tell you somebody else that I fell in love with. And it was after I saw some of the most harrowing stuff that OPL offers. This is a moment I'm going to show you, and it's, you know, fair warning, this is kind of hard to watch, but this comes to us from Knox County, Tennessee. And Deputy Dalton Swanger and his partner were responding to a bad guy who likely had a woman who was unwilling to be there in the woods, and he was screaming at the police officers, and they had to make the determination whether they went in after him because things were looking extraordinarily dangerous. It's a bit heart-stopping, so let's roll the tape and take a look.
We've got a report of shots fired in Knox County. Officer Dalton Swanger responding there.
Sheriff's office! Who are you? Go around. Show us your. Show me your hands. Who are you? Show me. Who are you?
Stay on that side. You come over here. It'll be your last DRP back. We're getting out of the back.
Echo 11. We have a very emotionally elevated man behind the trailer park. Jesus. Well, he didn't. Ma'am, are you okay? He's saying he's got a 350. Ma'am, are you okay?
Go ahead.
Ma'am, are you okay? He is extremely elevated. Any units be cautious approaching. He keeps talking about a 357.
Done your life, punk bitch! Come on, mother! Where you at now?
You already got knocked out. He fucking hit me with something hard.
Come on.
Curtis, when that happened live, how did you react?
You know, there's anger with us because you have an individual who just hurt someone who's in our family, law enforcement family. So it makes us want to be out there to help capture this individual as well. I mean, you got a guy who did this to a law enforcement officer. That means he has no regard for citizens' life, which makes him a dangerous individual.
Rizzo, I know you communicated with Knox County and kept in touch to find out his condition. Can you give us an update?
Yeah, so miraculously, you know, at first it didn't look good at all. And I could tell you one of the hardest things that he felt to convey was the fact that, you know, what people may not understand. Unfortunately, I've experienced the same where a colleague was shot dead and killed in the line of duty, and there's still a job that has to be done. So you have to disconnect almost. That's somebody that you know so intimately, and you're grieving and you're traumatic, but you still have a job to do. In that event, there's a female unaccounted for and now a suspect. So he wanted to convey how hard it was on his colleagues that night when we were experiencing that and watching it along with everybody else, there was still a perimeter that had to be established and a job to be done, so he understood how difficult that was. Miraculously, he's made a comeback that only somebody like him could. And he's back to working out. He himself says he will not be stopped in terms of his goal to return to duty. So you talk about inspiration to me.
I'm so glad.
And you know, Ashleigh, when that happened, there's a scene right after that where he actually gets up, right? And it looks like he's okay, right? And so we were relieved. And very quickly then on set, we're getting reports that he's not okay. And that this is actually even more serious than it seemed, that he was in a coma at the hospital. And, you know, we're trying to get as much information as we can, right? Because the audience is, you know, wants information. They feel for him. They just watched this happen and they want to know, is he okay? And the answer at the beginning was no, he's not okay at all. And so that was a tough, you know, it's tough to do that live.
Yeah.
It's tough to watch that live. And one of the things that was so moving to me was that both Deputy Swanger and his girlfriend both reached out at different times, first her and then eventually him, to say thank you to the OP Nation, to say how much all of their well wishes and how much all of their support meant to him in his recovery. And so when people say, there are some people who say, oh, you know, should we be showing this on television, et cetera? And the answer is, according to Deputy Swanger, people need to see this. They need to see that this is what happens when you're a police officer on occasion. It is almost worst case scenario. Fortunately, it's not worst, but it has to be seen. And again, the community of people came to his support, which I can tell you all, he can't stop talking about how much he appreciates that.
And he said, we talked about it before, you know, how Dan said how sometimes the portrayal of police leads us to believe that we're not supported. He specifically said it was a revival of his resilience to see how many people genuinely cared for his well-being. So
that's you.
That's to all of you guys.
That is you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You guys, I mean, honestly, that clip particularly just shows the heroic moment-to-moment decisions that you all are making when you're in the field. So I always say thank you for your service, but that service is just unbelievable. By the way, you don't see a lot of the unsung heroes on this program, but it is not easy to work in the field. Dan Abrams and I have both worked in the field, and we can't hold a candle to these guys. I want to show you the folks in the field who do the camera work and the field producing, because it is no joke trying to keep up with these guys. Let's roll the tape. Take a look.
Got one running. Woo, it gets deep. Oh my God. Don't worry, I'll catch him. Rubber Mike, yellow shirt. All right, I got one. Get up. I thought you were gonna get away. Bro, look at you. Get on the ground. This is crazy.
Be in a bystander's car.
Please skate on. Make yourself known. Don't Bonnie will bite you. Please skate on. Make yourself known. All right, come here. 330 headquarters. I got two running southbound. Red hoodie, black hoodie, gray pants, still southbound. Let me see your hands.
Come over here.
If you talk one, stop! Stop! Jump in the wall to the dirt line. On Russell. He's riding. Hey, I'm gonna tase your ass. What you got in your ass?
These are some of the most talented field producers and photographers in the business, bar none. And in fact, I just want to do something a little unorthodox if I can, because I think that JM is in the audience right now. Are you shooting? There he is. There's JM right there. He is responsible for a lot of what you've seen. Come up here. Can you get up on stage? Oh my God, look and see, that's what we did. And Mandy Venturino, are you around? Are you backstage or in the audience? Mandy? There she is, field producer. Okay. Listen, big round of applause for these guys. And they are amazing. One question for you, JM. I watch you guys follow police officers over walls. They're using their hands to get over the walls. Your hands are on the gear. How do you do it?
I have a thing I made where I just, it's quickest and fastest. I just bite and climb.
You're kidding me.
No.
That's honestly your system.
Yeah.
You put it in your teeth.
Yeah, my teeth. Haven't lost one yet, so I'm all good.
So when we're seeing the shot go like that, it's because it's hanging in your teeth?
No, I'm running with a camera, but as soon as I get to a fence, I need to use 2 hands. That's going in my mouth, so.
Oh,
yeah.
has it ever fallen out?
Nope.
Everything okay up there?
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay. But that's a heck of a smile, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Mandy, I know that you have had one of the more harrowing experiences that a field producer can have. Can you tell the audience what happened?
I had the pleasure of riding with Hazen. So one of our big chases was 160 miles an hour. We chased for about 40 minutes. And the only reason why we stopped chasing is because the man we were chasing ran out of gas. So definitely a fun, crazy group to ride with, for sure.
Well, you put yourselves in harm's way all the time so that everybody here gets a more transparent view of what law enforcement really is all about. So, like I said, unsung heroes, and thank you so much for what you give us. By the way, JM is the photographer behind what I'm about to show you. We're gonna swing with the emotions here for a minute, because we do swing every night, all through the emotions, the whole range, all the feels. And this one, I remember watching live at home, and my heart was in my throat, because I've had babies, and this was a toddler, a report of a toddler in diapers, waving a handgun. Let's roll the tape. Take a look.
Sergeant Zach Horgan responded to a report of a toddler waving a firearm.
What'd you see?
There's a little boy, so my son opened the door, and the little boy upstairs then standing there with a firearm. It's like, shut the door, Mom, he's got a gun. And I looked at the people, and he was standing there with it behind his back.
Okay. So it looked like a real gun, I assume. Now, does it have a gold or a orange tip?
No. It's chrome, black. Looked like a large 45.
Okay.
I sell guns.
Right. We have video of your kid holding a gun, so do you have a gun?
I don't have a gun. I have never brought a gun in this house. If there is, it's my cousin.
Okay. Where is your cousin here?
No.
Where does he have his own room?
No.
Does he own a firearm?
He comes to visit, yes.
Was he here within the last 3 minutes?
Oh, he's been here in the last 10 days.
Okay. But we need to figure out where this firearm is.
Thank you.
Where'd you put down that toy? Then we have a legit video of him holding a firearm.
Sorry for all the confusing questions. Sorry for all those facts I woke you up. Sorry. Thank you. Why didn't you just tell me? So obnoxiously good at putting me in a box and spend all that money mailing me to Abu Dhabi. But I'll make sure.
I don't know about everywhere else. I know here in Indianapolis alone, the number of children that have been injured in shootings just this year alone is appalling. I'm going to assume it's happening all across the country. This kid could have hurt himself, hurt his dad, or hurt a lot of other people, because this gun was loaded. There wasn't a bullet in the chamber, but the magazine was full with bullets. So, and he could have shot himself, shot anybody else. You know, luckily that didn't happen. You know, it's scary. It's terrifying.
Terrifying, appalling, all of those words apply. Curtis, I feel like that went out to so many people that it might have actually helped the community to realize, I got to store my weapon. I've got a toddler. I haven't really imagined that scenario.
So many times we preach about, weapon safety, gun safety, to store it in a lockbox, get the gun locks even free. You can go to your police department, they'll get those for you as well. Proper training with the weapons as well. That could have been pretty darn serious.
So sometimes on the show, we swing from things that are just sort of jaw-dropping like that to things that are funny but still connect to the jaw. There's a reason I said that. Let's roll the tape to some of the lighter moments.
So we're responding to a call. The only information I have right now is that it's a super irate female, but they can't understand what she's saying because she reports that she doesn't have her teeth in and is doing the best she can. So we're gonna go try and see if we can help her out. Kathy?
I don't need anybody but one. What happened to me, someone stole my bowls from me.
Somebody stole your bowls?
They took them out of my house, right?
Okay.
My son was just around, told her for him. She told him to go along with it. I took on jackpot because you hide the word, but that's what she did.
Calm down, because you're not. I can't hear what you're saying. I know when you get all mad though, you can't hear what you're saying.
Don't forget that there is some behind the world. He's my godfather. He said the lone eagle.
If I have you write it down, can you write it down for me? Just write down the basics.
I got it. All right.
All right. So somebody stole your bowls?
Yes, I always done that. I give him my whole paycheck that I got.
All right, so your son stole the bowls.
That's my son, and he got help with my phone.
Do you want to take me to your apartment and show me where this is? All right.
I do love that he said, slow down, I can't understand you. Those are the moments that make us smile, pardon the pun. But Dan, there's some really fun moments on this show.
There are, and we try to balance it, right? In the sense that, yes, that's funny, right? And yet, we also don't want to, make fun of her, right? So, we try and be careful in terms that those of you who watch the show know that I make jokes a lot, and I will sometimes make puns, which some people think are funny and others think are not remotely humorous.
Oh no, they're hilarious, Dan. They're so incredibly funny.
No,
they're hilarious.
But we're also thoughtful about it. There are people who are having a bad day, right? And we have to be sensitive to that as well. So we try to combine both having fun and making some jokes, but we try, not to do it at the expense of, someone who doesn't deserve it or is having a particularly bad day, et cetera. There's some people who do deserve it, right? There are people who just do really dumb things on purpose. And those are the ones where it's easier, where we don't have to worry about it as much. And then there are the ones where it's a little more subtle. But it's interesting because as we're doing the show, I try to assume that people might be watching with a kid, right? And so if there's something, for example, that might be a little sexual in nature or something, we'll try to use a phrase where the parents would get it, but the kid wouldn't. And
my kids got it.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. But how old are your kids? I mean, it's so...
Well, they're 20 and 18 now.
Exactly.
But we've been watching for a long time.
Yeah. So it's not exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the 10 or 11 or 12-year-olds because my son, who's now 13, has watched the show over the years, and I always think about making a comment that would go over his head, but that the parents would say, "Oh, did you see what he just did there?"
Yeah. No, it's really. I mean, it's all the feels, all like from moment to moment. You can just go up and down the spectrum of your emotions watching these officers at work. So one of the things that I absolutely love about OPL, and I think you guys are all going to agree, because I feel like we at CrimeCon are one really big community of people who care. We support victims. We support finding the missing. You can see it all over the exhibitors floor. And OPL is so incredibly dedicated to helping find the missing. The missing segment itself and On Patrol Live viewers have led to the reunification of 46 missing people, adults and children. I mean, that warms your heart. I want to show you just a couple of the highlights that struck a chord.
Tonight's missing segment, and many of you may have seen this in People magazine because it is a really big deal and it is some very exciting news.
This is awesome stuff. We're talking about 2 cases that involved 3 children. All 3 kids featured here on Patrol Live have been found safe. Just a few weeks ago, we shared the story of 16-year-old Juliet Capon out of New York and Cohen and Colton Desermo out of Louisiana. All 3 children were found in the same 24-hour period.
Let's begin with Juliet. What can you tell us about her recovery?
Well, you may remember we shared building footage of Juliet leaving her school in the middle of the day. Then we shared Juliet's story here, and 1 week later, she came home. She told her dad that she saw herself on this show. She heard her dad's message. Her dad asked me to say thank you to everyone involved with the show. He is forever grateful to all of you for bringing his daughter home.
Ashleigh, now what can you tell us about Cohen and Colton?
Well, this is just another great example of the impact of this show. Cohen and Colton had been missing for several months from St. Charles, Louisiana. When we shared their story here just a few weeks ago, we also shared pictures of their mother, Charlene Desermo. And once we aired their story here, investigators immediately began getting some good leads. They followed up, and Mom's world quickly got a lot smaller. Now, Mom is back in Louisiana in jail, and the boys are back home with their dad, and they are very happy. The U.S. Marshals say there is no question this show ramped up the investigation and helped find those 2 little boys.
Yeah.
So proud. Just beaming with pride. By the way, Angeline Hartman is here at CrimeCon. She's with NCMEC, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. If you see her around, give her a big high five because she does amazing work. Curtis, this is something that you particularly helm on the show. What is it like when you get that news that you actually had this effect, that you led to a reunification?
Well, you know, it's not me. It is you guys, OP Nation. We thank you because when we showcase these missing cases, you guys are our eyes, you guys are our ears. Those little tips that you call in, it helps to locate folks like this. Also, Black and Missing Foundation as well, teaming up with them too to find those who are missing. It means so much to us when you help us locate those individuals. So thank you.
Thank you, OPL. Amazing. So I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions, and there should be microphones in the aisles, and we're going to do questions really soon. So if you want to start thinking about what you want to ask the guys, you can just line up behind these microphones, and we'll get to you in just a bit when we do the question portion. But there is this one thing I really want to show you, because we've shown the heroics of what you guys face every day. We've shown the danger that you just walk right into without even hesitation. You see the need. Your own safety takes a back seat. We've seen that. But the unbelievable compassion that you are about to see in this next piece of video, I'm not gonna lie, I've seen a lot of stuff. I've been a war correspondent. This made me cry. And I think it's gonna make you cry as well, because, oh man, even thinking about it. Sergeant Kenny Fitzsimmons from the Richland County Sheriff's Department, this is Curtis's department, he was on patrol, and during the show, they got a call that there was a man on a bridge who was about to jump off, and this is what happened. Let's roll the clip.
We're on our way to a call. Apparently people were driving down the road that we're currently on, went over a bridge or an overpass, saw a gentleman sitting on the bridge, feet dangling off the edge. So we'll be there extremely shortly to try to help this gentleman.
Play drive on the left.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a channel for now. Hey, boss man. Can I talk to you for a minute? No? What's your name? I just want to talk to you for a minute, sir. What's your name? Talk to me, boss man. I've been through a lot. How can I help you? Something like this, man. If you were to jump off, that's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I mean, whatever stuff you have going on right now, it's temporary. It'll pass. Your dad's on his way, sir.
What are you doing, man? Come on, man. What are you doing, man?
Come on, bud.
Come on.
You're okay.
Get him up.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Thank you.
Hey, no problem.
Oh, shit.
For me, it was that hug. Guys, what's it like, Rizzo, when you get this bond with a family that you've helped, a person that you've saved, some good that you've done for someone who recognizes you particularly?
I think it's ironic. I don't think I've ever met a police officer that expects to get thanked. You know, for me personally, I'll only speak for that. I openly share my own struggles that I've persevered through. When it comes, mental health is my mantra, it's my mission. So like, I always try to, exactly what Kenny did, he got down to his level. It wasn't about authority. It wasn't about being a superior. It was at that moment, all that person needed was you to be on his level and understand his pain at that moment. And then you hope. And we only try to give people the hope just to get through the moment. You can't obsess about yesterday, right? That's being depressed. You can't obsess about what's yet to come. That's anxiety. Living in the moment's going to lead to happiness. And that's all we tried to provide.
And Curtis, they stayed in touch, right?
He made a connection, a bond with this individual, and they still have that bond still going strong today as well from that.
You know, Dan, this show highlights all of this. In a time where people haven't been particularly kind to police officers, I can't stress enough how important it is to highlight this kind of transparency and show what it's like there in the field and what these guys and women are doing on a regular basis.
Well, and it's also the sort of the smaller things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the things that don't make the news. I mean, it's possible that an incident like that, right, could make the news. Hero cop saves kid. Okay, great. We love that, right? But it's the more sort of everyday, mundane moments that this show shows that no other show portrays. The day-to-day, both tribulations and the day-to-day heroics and the day-to-day policing, what it means to actually be out there as opposed to just seeing a headline or a moment. And when you watch this show for 3 hours every Friday and Saturday night, you just get a much better sense of what it's like to be a police officer through the eyes of the officer, right? Even just approaching a vehicle, they don't know who's in the vehicle. They don't know what that person's going to do. And there's no other show that shows you that moment, right? Where the officer is walking up to the vehicle. Which side is the officer gonna go up to? What is he gonna say? How is he looking into the car? Is there tint in the back seat? All these little things that are the day-to-day aspects of being a police officer that you won't see or appreciate anywhere else.
You know, I often say that on just a regular stop, if that guy behind the wheel is on a parole violation and that officer is the only thing standing between him and going back to prison to finish 10, 15 years, what do you think could happen? And that's what you guys have to think about every single time you approach a car. So when you get stopped, just for speeding or something else, just know that's what the officer's thinking. Is this gonna be my last stop? Is this the stop where the guy's gonna pull the gun? So it's just a really great, transparent view, this program that teaches us what's in the mind of the officers. I wanna, oh, go ahead, Rizzo.
Well, I was gonna say, to add to Dan as well, we hate in the industry where we always see things on different media outlets where they start the story at chapter 4.
The middle. Yes.
So what I love so much about what this show brings to the viewers and to the public is it starts it from chapter 1. And I think that's very important when it comes to comprehension.
Amen. It's brilliant.
Because we'll see people on a scene with a camera, right?
Yeah.
And it'll be like, oh, it looks like they missed the first part of this scene.
Yes. Minor details.
Yeah, they're there with their cameras showing the moment that it gets a little aggressive with the officer. They seem to have left out, maybe they weren't filming for the first part of the interaction where the officer asked 6 times to please get out of the car. Can you please show me your license? Can you please this? None of that ends up making it on that video, but it'll make it with our cameras because our cameras are watching the entirety of the incident.
And the 160-mile-an-hour chase that Mandy had to go through before they got to that. Would you please step out of the car, right?
It goes from 0 to 100, you know, at any single moment that can happen. And that's why we're also taught verbal judo, which, of course, Chief and Hazen, he has that pretty good.
Verbal judo?
You want to be able to de-escalate situations and get them to comply with what you want to do. Complying is easy, but it's so tough.
Yeah, it seems that way. Okay, time for your questions. You've been so patient. Beautiful lady in the pink. I thought you were the first at the mic, so go for it.
I've always wondered if the cameraman, a lot of times you'll see them pan over to maybe drugs or whatever that maybe the policemen don't see. Can they tell them about it?
So the answer is no, meaning it's not a question of can they, right? It's a question of what is their role. And this is a bigger picture question that people ask a lot about. The role of our camera people is to be a fly on the wall, is to show you what's happening. It is not to be a participant. The minute our camera crew becomes a participant in these things, our role is completely changed. And that puts additional obligations, et cetera, on us. We want to just show what is happening. Now, are there extremely rare instances where if, there is a child running, of course, our producer or, will go and grab a child or something. But when it comes to the day-to-day aspects of what is happening in the field, it is simply not their job to be part of law enforcement. Their job is to simply show people what is happening. Now, I will tell you, who ends up calling? You guys.
Yes.
You guys
You do.
see it on camera, and then these departments get flooded with calls. You guys didn't see the guy threw drugs out of the window. You missed it. Yeah. And then the department can go back and say, hey, and then they can go back and look for it. So, it gets funneled, but you guys are the ones who have to do it, not our camera person.
And Dan does have a shock collar on me because I do the same thing. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, Tom, calm down, Tom. Calm down. So he's like that big brother to tell me to calm down too. So I'm with you.
So no, it's true. You have done this a lot. You have called these departments because the camera is just another set of eyes.
Yeah.
An officer can't look at everything on the spectrum, but that other set of eyes that saw something, it's amazing when you guys become that other set of eyes. So thank you so much. Question over here.
Hi, my name is Rayanne, and I just wanted to thank you so much for coming to Denver. And my question is for everyone, and it's with the work that you do and having to travel almost every weekend to film the show, how do you properly create a good work-life balance?
Well, keep in mind that we're not in the field, right? I mean, the three of us are not, for the show's purposes, in the field. Tom and Curtis are both still working as officers, and so the travel they do is coming from where they live to the studio. But I will tell you that the camera people and the producers, they're living this stuff. They are living in these areas. They are getting, temporary housing and living with these folks. And so for them, it's not easy. Look, that is not an easy gig, being a camera person or a producer for On Patrol Live. I think that they will tell you that it's a very rewarding job and it's a very exciting job, but it's not an easy job.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I was a war correspondent, so I can give a little bit of insight because you put your life on hold. You really do. And as a war correspondent, I had no husband, no children, and no houseplants because I was gone. And so I kind of feel like this is a little the same. You put your life on hold for this work, much like the military, but that just shows the extraordinary dedication as well. Question over here?
Thank you. This is more just a comment, but in the video of Deputy Swanger, you see his partner, Deputy Kirchner, pulling him out of the woods. And just not long after Dalton Swanger's incident, his partner was injured also in the line of duty with years of recovery ahead of him. So if the OP Nation could give him some love and support during his recovery, I know that he would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's so astute and so thoughtful. And I think he'd appreciate that very much. Question over here?
Hi, thank you for coming. My name's Christy. My husband and I have watched since the very first show. And our son is a Kansas City police officer, and he won't share much of anything about his job. So we appreciate being able to see what he's going through in the day, and it explains sometimes his behavior and attitude and emotions. So I want to thank you for that. And then we've always wondered, do the cameramen train? Because we appreciate how fast they run and the things they have to jump over. We're like, oh my goodness. And so I was just wondering, do they work out and train? And
Yeah, well, they both train, and most of them work out too, because as you can tell, if you're not pretty fast and you're not able to keep up, you really can't do this job. So there is a training process for this job.
We make them run with 100-pound weights.
And look, Curtis, you've dealt with a lot of the crews in the field, right?
Absolutely. So it's one of those things that this guy was talking about, with his camera and having to jump over the fence and having to run and keep up with him. Officers themselves are carrying like 30 pounds on themselves, but their hands are free. Camera guys, it's a little different. So it's a rigorous training exercise that they go through. But when they get there, you can see they're in results.
And you'll see, and this goes to the other question before about the way the cameras also will pan, right? Because, we're not just asking them to keep it straight. If there's a cat that's going through the shot, you'll sometimes see the camera like follow the cat, right? Because it's like, or there's someone like some random person on, an electric wheelchair who's like going right through the traffic stop, right? And you'll be like, wait, was that just someone just going right through and so our camera people know that's part of what people want to see. They want to see the entirety of the scene of what's happening, including the zany moments that can happen.
Well, they're good journalists, right?
Yeah, the bumper
Great
stickers.
Journalists, because sometimes on the scene, this will be about a guy who's got open containers or something like that, and the photographer will notice what's on his shirt. It's like, drink till you drop.
Yeah.
And he will get that. But it takes your second eye, right? Because that first eye is on the viewfinder, and then that second eye is making sure that you capture everything you're not seeing through the viewfinder. It's really hard work. I keep saying unsung heroes because it really is true. Question over here?
Again, thank you guys for being here. My name is Derek. My wife and I have been watching you guys since the live PD days. Besides Chief Taylor, we've got Richie and Chris and James down in Daytona Beach, and we've got Captain Dan there in Richland County. They're still on. What happens when we lose a department? How is the negotiations with the departments, contracts? There was Round Rock, Texas years ago. We're out in California. We're up in Spokane.
Yep.
Obviously been around a while.
You have been. You're good.
Yeah, they come and go. You fall in love with some of these guys and gals that are protecting us, but what is the business side of it?
Yeah, well, look, some of it is practical side, right? The departments need a break sometimes. I mean, it is extra prep to have us there. And a lot of the time, a department will say, like in Hazen, they go hunting for a month, right? And and it's not that we're saying we don't want to be with you. They say, you know what? Give us a little time, give us a break, et cetera. But we also want to make sure we have a diversity of departments when we look at the totality of what we're showing. We want big city departments, we want sheriff's departments, we want rural, we want urban. And so we will try to make sure the totality of the group of departments that we have reflects American policing, right? And so some decisions are made in that regard as well. But it's very, very mutual. It's very amicable with the departments in terms of, working with them, taking a break, potentially going back or not. But it's less, I would describe it as business. We're not paying them, right? And it's more just cooperation and understanding for what they're capable of and what we're looking for.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support, and thank you for being such a great viewer. I appreciate it. Question over here?
Hi, I'm Ellen.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi. I'm embarrassed to say I'm live PD, on patrol live. I mean, all of it. I could name so many officers. It's kind of embarrassing. And I don't know why I can't miss it. It's real.
It's okay. Yeah.
We all feel the same way.
Yeah.
Trust me, we all feel the same way.
And Ashleigh, you on Live Nation when you were talking to the inmates where Luigi was.
Thanks. That was really fun.
Priceless. And I guess sometimes you see.
Oh, did he just give her a ducky?
Did.
Dan just gave her a live
And you
or a
yeah, so you guys know,
ducky.
who knows the ducks?
You got
Yeah, all right. I got a few
You got
more
a
ducks.
ducky.
All right, so yes,
You got a duck. You got a duck.
You got
That
we
is
got a few more of the
amazing.
on-patrol ducks here. Hold on, I'm coming. Here we go.
It's
More of the
when
ducks, more ducks. We got a duck. We got, yes.
He's on duck patrol.
You don't look like you want it that much. Yeah.
I do want to hear your question. As we're doing the duck thing, I do want to hear what you have.
It's kind of a observation. When I see some people who are
Good job. We're out of ducks.
who are so rude to the officers.
Oh boy.
And racist, and that makes me mad.
You know what? Can I say right there? I agree with you. I get so angry when I see this attitude, and I feel like maybe I'm too old, but I feel like when we were kids, we were told to behave, be polite. But how do you guys feel as officers seeing this degradation of attitude?
Can't take it personal. We know they're upset because we're seeing them probably at their worst. So therefore, whatever they're saying, whatever they're doing, we're still going to say license, registration, whatever we need. And while they're still going off, all right, make sure you're here at this court date, sign right there. We're just going to do our job. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, but Rizzo, it hurts me, and I'm not an officer.
Like for me, it's more of like disappointment because how that's tolerated. It's one thing that, like Curtis said, we're kind of built for it. Not that it makes it right, but what's disheartening is that when we talk about it being a collective effort, that you don't have families, you don't have mentors, you don't have people saying, hey, that's terrible. You don't treat, never mind a person of authority, you just don't treat anybody like that.
And one of the things I always find entertaining is that you'll have people who will talk total crap to a guy like Rizzo, right, who's like the cop. But then if they saw him in a bar, they'd be like, sorry, sir. Excuse me. Did I bump into you by accident? I didn't mean to.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. Right over here.
Hi, everyone.
Is that an on patrol shirt?
Yeah.
Nicely done. Well executed.
What I'd like to know is, even though you guys follow multiple departments, and I know you're watching on all these screens in front of you, is there ever been a time that there's been something so shocking or surprising you didn't have time to break away? Dan will always say, we got to go to so-and-so. Was there something that you were just blown away, but you're something else is big?
And I think you've seen it a couple times on the show where I'll say, while we were in break, this happened, or this happened moments ago.
But anything you didn't say that, but you guys kind of kept it in the background, but you guys still think about it?
No, there's nothing that we there's nothing, people on social media occasionally suggest that, they're not showing us the good stuff anymore, right? And it's what are you talking about? I mean, the idea that we're gonna not show the most interesting moments is of course ridiculous. And so, we are showing all of the most interesting, compelling moments that are happening. And as you know, we have a delay, so it allows us, if two things are happening at once, to be able to show the second thing after we showed the first. But we are not, we're not leaving great moment unless, for example, I don't view this as a great moment. If someone is trying to kill themselves, right? And we might not go to it, right? If there's a real mental health issue there. Or if someone dies in a scene. That's one of the reasons we have a delay. Yeah. Is so we're not going to go to a scene with a dead person lying there, right? Because family members might not know that person is dying. So there are all sorts of different things that make this show incredibly complicated, right? Personal information coming out during traffic stops, et cetera. But one thing that's not happening is that there's all this good stuff that we're storing somewhere and not showing.
Sometimes when children are involved, that's also a moment when cameras go down or cameras go away.
And that's when we blur faces and,
Yeah. Question over here?
Thanks. Hi, everybody.
Did you get a duck?
Loud. Yes.
You got a duck.
Dan, this just made my entire life, so thank you for that. Hi, my name is Jess, and I just wanted to see if you guys knew. Did you know that there's a bingo game for you guys that you can actually print off?
We're quite familiar with the bingo game. The idea that we wouldn't know about it. So we are very familiar with it. But look, you have to understand, we have to be kind of careful, right? The bingo game is fun and it's funny and it's what's going to happen on the show and people are guessing. But from our perspective, right, of being the hosts and the analysts of the show, we still have to treat the show with respect in the sense of, and I'm not saying, because I laugh, I like watching the bingo stuff, but we can't get involved in it because this is still real life, right? This is still real police work. This is still people who are getting arrested. And so, we have to also make sure that while we're having fun and we're trying to keep the show entertaining, we also have to respect what we're doing and what we're covering. And that's why something like the bingo is something we might talk about off camera, but it's not something that we're going to be, talking about or promoting, et cetera, on the show, even though there are some hilarious moments in the bingo games.
If I could, you guys, I would take every question, but I know that we're on a tight schedule for everybody else to get to their other sessions. But there is a meet and greet with these guys coming up at 6:45 and the Aurora 1 Ballroom. So make sure, write that down, 6:45 Aurora 1 Ballroom. And of course, you can see On Patrol Live this Friday and Saturday night and every Friday and Saturday night on the REELZ channel. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Rizzo. Thank you so much, Curtis. Thank you, OP Nation. See your hands. I love that. He's running towards you.
Here comes the dog! Start running!
Welcome to On Patrol Live. We got more than 50 cameras across the country following law enforcement in real time. There is nothing else like this.
Hands up! Step away from your car!
She's trying to come down here and fight me.
For what?
Because she's a drunk crackhead?
We are there with the officers, running after the officers.
Stop, please! Oh.
Is there anybody else in the car?
No.
That there is an intoxicated female. She seems to be stuck in a tree. Oh, and there she is.
We got a call from George about Alan. He said that you saw Alan get buried out here.
What makes the show great?
Stop crying. Suck it up, Buttercup.
There's nothing scripted.
All right, running down the interstate.
Activate SWAT. We have a barricaded hostage taker.
Hands behind your back!
Somebody just hit us. That hurt. Yeah. We're alive. We're okay. We got the bad guys.
The #1 show every Friday and Saturday night.
Thank you.